cam. I wasn't too sure. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna be in this photo. Joseph, get rid of that profile photo right now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Podcast. I'm your host, Kent Minjo, and we're joined here once again by none other than the cynic himself, Mr. Mass Cynic.
How unfortunate.
And it is, and it's a great thing to have him here, of course. Today we are delighted to have such a very special homosexual guest on the show. You might know him for his Minecraft series called Atomic Tutorials, or his laid-back Minecraft streams, where he jams out to Fallout music all while chatting, building, and designing his beautiful Minecraft worlds. He's a well-known member of the PlayStation 4 Minecraft building community, being a member for now over 5 years, and with him just currently reaching over 800 subscribers and 79,000 plus combined channel views, he's built a reputation for himself as a very polite gentleman who is not only incredibly likable but also charismatic. Very warm welcome to the doctor himself, Dr. Wasabi.
Yep.
I swear, that was like far and few that we actually have a solid take like that. That was a solid one. Like one mess up at the beginning, that was good, and I was like, oh my god, like if that messed up, then I'm gonna cry.
That was like the
Dr.
fifth
Wasabi,
attempt.
honestly. Don't even lie like that. You know that was a good one. Come on now, that he
Good one after the seventh.
But
yeah.
after the 7th. But man, honestly, Alex, it's great to have you on the show, man. Honestly, dude, honestly, with this been a long time coming, I think, since the return of TFP way back in like episode 20 and whatnot. You've been avidly there, kind of like, yo, like I'm willing to come on whenever you guys are willing to have me. I'm willing to do this. And it's great to have you on, man. Honestly, dude, it's even better as well to actually see you as well. You know what I'm saying? One of the far and few guests that we've had on actually has a full face cam as well, which is great. I mean, I just say you're looking.
Yeah, we usually have
smashing.
people that have half a face cam.
Yeah, the half a face cam thing's not good. It's just kind of like this half. It's not really
Whole
good
face
in
cam.
general, man. But dude, how you doing, man? Well, honestly, we aren't keeping you our way at a bad time. Definitely did have to make you wait for a little while to do this.
No, it's honestly it's worth the wait. That's like the joke, isn't it? Like I'm pretty sure we've been talking about this for years. I mean, when was the first time I actually met you? Well, met
It was
digitally, of course.
because it was to do a world tour, right? Because like you heard me about,
Yes.
you heard I think of me because of the world tour stuff, and then we kind of got in contact from there, and it was like, all right, like from there it was like, oh, we should do a world tour, and I think that was like back in, I'd say 2018, 19, I'd say. So it's been a hot bit. It's been a hot minute.
God, that was such a long time ago, man. Like just 2018. It sounds odd
Yeah.
now.
It's
Mm.
weird to think that was like legitimately 4 years ago now. It's like, god damn it, aging too quick. That's what it is. But god damn it. But no, it is. It's a pleasure to have you here, and hopefully all of our viewers as well who are Fallout enthusiasts can actually see the level of effort and detail that the shows went into. We've blown all the budget for the season. I'm telling you, the whole budget's gone. Just
I've had to
make
sell
this
my
entirely
house.
possible.
This
He's
is a
had to
green
sell his
screen.
house. I don't have a house. I live in a cardboard box with a green screen, so it is what it is. But we've got a fantastic kind of Fallout kind of esque kind of vibe right here, of course, and obviously full inspiration, of course, for Dr. Wasabi. But dude, it is brilliant to have you on the show, man. And we've got a great starter off question. I think it's a great one to just kind of begin a good subject, obviously, and get us kind of the ball rolling, I guess. So I thought a fantastic starter question to kick this episode off would be to ask you, as a Minecraft PlayStation 4 now PS5, of course, map creator, how has your growth changed on YouTube growth wise and just in general since the removal of PlayStation 4 communities a good, what I think it'd be around about a year ago now, maybe almost? And do you think Sony made a silly or smart decision removing them? It's like I felt like a really great decision to talk about that.
That is. I don't want to sound like a cliche. Oh, that's a really good question. No, but it was quite unfortunate at the time because I remember that there was a lot of these great communities. I can't remember them now, which is a shame. It really shows how old I'm getting. Yeah, that's it. Who are you? No, sorry.
It's like who are you?
But it was quite bad at first because a lot of people use that to advertise. Of course, now I use things like Discord, Planet Minecraft. You know how it goes. Paste the links all the way down.
Yeah.
But PlayStation communities was a great foundation for advertising worlds. A lot more people were able to join each other back then because I think that was before the merger of Bedrock.
Yeah,
was
no,
still
it was,
on-
definitely. Yeah.
It was also before they did the whole party chat thing as well. I think when they've done that
Yeah,
on top of it has
yeah.
kind of made it a lot harder to interact with new players, which is kind of against the whole idea of meeting people online.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't there please, I don't know if you guys probably know better than me, you probably will here. Wasn't it like, I think on communities there was a section where you could see like public parties and you could actually join them from there? I might be wrong here.
You could also
not
make a party
100%.
with the majority of the players there anyway.
That's it. So it was quite like, again, this was before they made a lot of, I felt like, kind of anti-player decisions. I'd say to some extent, maybe that's a bit of a bold statement.
Anti-community.
But it's quite mad. Anti-community, anti-player. I feel like that's kind of what it is. And that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up with you, because obviously, I know that for you being a map, developer and a map maker, of course, in the Minecraft scene, especially on PS4, there was quite a tight-knit kind of community, I'd say, subjectively. Because this was before PS5. This was before the integration, obviously, of course, the Bedrock Edition with PS4. This was when every player on PlayStation 4 Minecraft was on Legacy Edition. So everybody was able to communicate and able to meet via actual communities, which is quite nice. And that's how I used to do a lot of my Minecraft World Showcase videos. I would go into the communities and meet people, and that's kind of how I started doing it. So that's why I was like, I wonder how it changed for you. Did you ever have a PlayStation community?
I did. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was it was like a topical. I think it was our first attempt at like a podcast thing. I can't remember. It was like your medicinal.
Oh shit! Really?
Something. Yeah, it was something to do medicinal, like your daily dose. That was it. Your daily medicinal dose or something stupid like that. We had a community like it did take off, but it was fun. I get what you mean now. How it's a bit of a quieter place, because I feel like obviously there's a lot of, let's be honest, there's a lot of shit posts in those communities, but
there are a lot of good ones as well, a lot, and I think that's what Sony took it down for. Like, and they would come up. I remember they would pop up on your like recommended and stuff, because it's just like, hey, you're playing video games with other people, stereotypically middle-aged people and teenagers. They like this sort of thing. I like the way PlayStation would promote it as if it was like an innocent thing. Because obviously they don't look at it; they just go, "Oh, this is popular." Like, here you go. Like, you'd always get like, do you remember I haven't got one in a while, but do you remember when you get like messages from like an account that's like girl 5627189?
Oh yeah, it would be like one of those,
and then they would invite you to community, because it's like, and obviously
like Dr. Wasabi knows pretty well. Like, he's sitting here like I know, yeah. It's like,
because it's like, everyone knows every person who plays video games is going to be like unga bunga woman, and then like run towards them. It's that's the mentality of this like little scam thing, though, is it not?
Yeah,
you can't say I'm wrong.
No, you're right, 100%. I think you're definitely right there. I mean, it's kind of, for me though, like the biggest and probably saddest part about PlayStation 4 communities getting removed, and it was, I wasn't really a Minecraft map builder, right? And that's kind of why I wanted to bring it with you, Dr. Wasabi, because it's, for me, it's like I wasn't really a Minecraft map builder. I'd done occasional worlds, like, as like live stream and stuff, but it's not the same as you or Cosmic Reality or other people that were in the Minecraft community that I know of, or New Freedom, like New Freedom, obviously, of course, New Freedom, and a bunch of other people and whatnot in the community that were like actual avid builders, Bloody Hatchets, and there was a bunch of other people as well, in fact. Just coming to mind and whatnot. But it was like, another great thing about communities wasn't it wasn't only the way of being able to promote yourself. That was a great, a given thing, of course, but it was also meant to meet other players who could come help you work on your worlds. Because it was like back in the days, like say you have a world, like right now you do, right? But you had one before this, did you not? It was the Fallout one. Mainly.
Yes. So there was a few worlds, because we're going across the different consoles as we go.
Yeah.
The one before the one I'm making now is the original Walden City 1.0, which is where most of my kind of building skills developed. The one before that was a build, because the thing is, with communities, there was a lot more access to different worlds. It was kind of like this interconnected web where you could go to each other's friends' worlds and build on there. So I was spending a lot more time on a lot of people's worlds. There's this guy called Spazza Camino, who sadly isn't doing YouTube anymore, but he was like, where, Bloody Hatchets and New Freedom, we kind of all went on his world to build our different things. But before that, I do know what you're talking about, the original Fallout world. It was in a texture pack. Is that the one you mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that was the one I did. This was back when my channel was very young. I did like a proper Fallout creative world that I was supposed to set to survival, and it's just to kind of hone my edge about, because it's such an interesting style, having a building and then smashing it all down, and then having it in sort of decayed state. There's a sort of sheer beauty in that. So yeah, I worked on that for a few years. And then tragically, I lost my original account, the original Dr. Wasabi.
Oh, dang.
Excuse me. It was something to do with a password. But I lost that original world. I managed to port it over, but it's more than in the archive,
Oh, right. Yeah.
so to speak. So, you know, if I want to be nostalgic, I'll visit it and look around and see what I was doing. But hopefully in the future, if I do finish my City World, I am planning to, you know, kind of smash it up a bit and turn it into something people can do in survival. It's a nice little survival map for people to enjoy. Because I feel like when you put a lot of effort into it and then you put that extra layer on it, it really kind of rewards the player for going in there, exploring, and being rewarded for their exploration with like chests and stuff like that. So yeah.
I'll get you. I was going to say, when you said, was it Spazza you said? Was that by any chance YouTuber Spazza27 YT?
Yes.
Right, yeah, because I thought he was, I thought he's done, that maybe it wasn't him, I'm thinking of someone else. There was another friend of yours who done mainly Fallout music, right? You know who I'm talking about, probably.
Yes.
What's the name?
Sorry, it's just Bigglesman.
That was it. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. So what happened to Spazza? Has he just left in general? Like, he just stopped doing content?
I feel like he beheld the fate of so many Minecraft players in life kind of caught up with him. He has a family, he has kids, he has a wife. Very jealous. Cringe. So he's most likely doing his job, living family life, and just doesn't have time to play Minecraft, which is a shame. But you know,
gamer down.
Yeah, gamer down.
Gamer down. It sucks, man. It sucks because I'm pretty sure I've seen him. I'm sure it was him. I saw him on a lot of your, because I obviously, you know, coming up to doing this episode, I wanted to really look into your channel, and I knew a bit about it, of course, but I wanted to make sure that we really got quite a bit there, quite a bit of substance. I want to make sure we're not asking you something that you've already, you know, discussed or whatever. So I went and kind of dived deep, and I saw in a lot of your older streams, because you've done, you know, bloody hundreds of streams. You've done a lot of the older streams, and like obviously that this was in the original, like your original world, the one like the Fallout kind of texture pack, I believe it was. And he was in there. He was in the chat and whatnot a few times, and he came in, and it seemed like he was supporting and whatnot. And he was there, and then I was like, you know, never see him around. And he's not done a YouTube video, I think, like 9 months. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It's quite funny because I remember it was on Walden City 1.0 that I had my best stream of the channel. It's like 270 views, and it was when Spazza actually came in, and he put on his Discord server, "Hey, I'm on Dr. Wasabi's YouTube," and people were like, because nobody had seen him in ages, so people thought he was either dead or fled to orbit or something like that. Yeah. So everyone was like, "Hey, let's get in there." Yeah. So it's
God damn, man. It's a shame to see a gamer go. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a sad thing in and of itself. I mean, I said, speaking about PlayStation 4 communities, not to dwell on that one for too long, but I thought it was a good kind of area to start, because it is one of those things where, I mean, that's inherently how I really, if it wasn't for PlayStation 4 communities, I wouldn't have met really you inherently, because I would never have started doing world tours. That's how I kind of got into that kind of whole line. It's a shame they got removed in general. I wish they got added to PlayStation 5.
It's funny, not a lot of people actually remember that PlayStation community was a thing. I remember I used to use it a lot as well. I had my own one, and that's how I met a lot of people as well. So I don't actually know why they ended up getting rid of it. It was probably to do with those bot accounts and stuff. But
it was the reasoning behind it, from my acknowledgement. Funny enough, I actually done a thing recently where I was kind of covering it, because it was from an old vlog of mine from way back in the day, and it was actually something to do with, like, it was kind of like a lack of use. Like, there wasn't as many people using it, which I find a little bit obscured, because it's like, you know, the communities on PlayStation 4, some of them, especially the Minecraft ones, they had 100,000 plus members, and there was people in there. It was constantly shifting. Like, I recall a lot of the communities were quite active.
There was a lot of tournament groups as well, where you could join tournaments.
Yeah.
I know I nearly got into, I was never any good at it, but like, I know I was offered into like a Rainbow Six tournament. Like, I don't know why, but that was an opportunity, you know? I think stuff like that is important.
I think them getting rid of that's kind of, to some extent, it's like the whole PlayStation Party thing, adjusting that and changing that. They're kind of damaging their own ecosystem a little bit, PlayStation, sadly enough. You know what I'm saying?
Sony does like to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, quite often, sadly. But,
yeah.
We'll progress from there, because I feel like that was a good one.
Well, on the topic of map creation overall, something that has been asked by many of your subscribers is, will there ever be a release, or, you know, will you ever release a download for your Minecraft worlds?
Sorry.
Sorry.
I will. It is something that I want to do, but in order to do it, because I've been on PS4, PS5 you know,
Next
full
gen
of
scum.
Forever, right? Like,
yeah, forever. I have been on PC. What did I say? PSC. And I don't really use it for Minecraft stuff. I kind of use it for Roblox when I'm my guilty pleasure.
Oh, wow.
And like the creation kit, I do dabble in that sometimes when I'm free. So I feel like if people really want me to do it, then either when Walden City or New Walden City is completed, I will port it over to a map. I'm sure there's a YouTube tutorial for it. It's just
Yeah, no, there's plenty. Because with Bedrock Edition, the best thing is like you can easily port them over. Like say you had it on your mobile phone or even on a PC, you can easily port it over with realms. You basically use that and then you download the world from the realm. You know, you can download world.
Yeah.
So you use a realm to kind of be like the middleman between it. And you port it over and download. I mean, like that's probably the easiest way of doing it in general, man. But it is one of those things where it's like I would imagine you doing that obviously as soon as possible. What about your original world? Would you ever do that one? Like, or is that like no, let's never get in touch with anybody else? Like, no, that's mine. It's never getting released.
Is that in reference to like the Fallout world that I did?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure because the thing is it isn't finished. That's the thing. I don't like. I have like a severe PTSD about leaving stuff unfinished for Walden City 1.0 because the joke was, oh, Wasabi's built another.
Start that world.
Oh, that must have been that was when I was still in treatment. Yeah, that must have been 2015 to 2018, I believe.
Jesus. So multiple years of work, and I'm presuming dozens of people joining it. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it! I just want to say. I mean, so do you think you'll ever go back to it to finish it, or do you think that kind of like it's more of a pipe dream?
It's you see worlds like that I like to see as a stepping stone because a lot of people have worlds which they'll work in it, they'll have an end goal, but for one reason or another they won't be able to finish it, but instead of actually it being a finished project, it's what they kind of learned along the way, which sounds cheesy, but it is important because it helps grow your skills as a Minecraft creator, which is why there's such a significant difference between my build styles on Walden City 1.0 and New Walden City, which is much more polished, detailed, and there's a lot more attention to the environment around it. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I think one of the big differences is wasn't, and again, do correct me if I'm wrong here, your new world, obviously, which I've been on, of course, obviously recently, which was awesome. It was the fact that it's all general terrain, like it's not like it's a super flat, obviously, or anything like that. I think that's like the substantial difference. And wasn't it with the original Fallout world that you done? That was a super flat, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the original Fallout world I did was a super flat. I think this was back in Legacy, so I was only able to do like the classic 3-block.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with 1C 1.0, but I was smart enough to make it so the ground was smooth stone, so I could just make a city and then terraform around it. But that turned out to be really difficult because I had to make command block world engines and just like a ridiculous amount of effort going into them. So I thought I may as well, because I was watching a lot of Dan Lags at the time, a great content YouTuber, sadly no longer uploading. Dan Lags.
All right.
Dan Lags.
He was he was one of the OG Minecraft builders, and he took a world that just a random seed, and he kind of blasted through the terrain and made a city out of it. And I thought, okay, that's a good challenge, because by the end of Walden City 1.0, I was a bit drained out. I kind of built everything I wanted to do. I was still doing tutorials on there, but I kind of wanted to start something new, something that was a bit more planned out. So I kind of found a seed on like YouTube, like plus 100 seeds for building. Found a good one of Flows of Rivers, went into that and kind of started a few months ago. But of course, you saw the results when you came over.
Yeah, well, that's you started working on the glow pack, the glow pop, factory. You got the factory, the town. You've got a lot of things going on in the world right now. You're already kind of building quite fast with it, and it's nice what you've done with the world. Obviously, of course, from what I've seen personally. Going on from here, I feel like this kind of really draws back to the origin of your channel, and it's also very prevalent in the current day version of Dr. Wasabi as a channel, especially more so recently with the recent boost you've had in popularity and whatnot. I'd say partially as well with this. You have a very popular series on your channel called Atomic Tutorials, which may I just say, by the way, I absolutely adore that name. Like, I seriously love the name Atomic Tutorials. It just sounds fantastic. But I was wondering, what initially was your inspiration for that series, if there was any, and how has your vision for it adjusted since its creation now over 5 years ago?
I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing, because I think my original one was like a Corvega sedan. I think this was back when Walden City 1.0 was just created. I built State House, and I was thinking, oh, okay, I need vehicles, so I may as well make a tutorial for one. And it was kind of something that I didn't intend to be this huge kind of playlist that it is now. But it has kind of evolved over time to be. I think it was after a few episodes I kind of named it Atomic Tutorials, because it's very what's it called? I don't want to say alliterate. Not illiterate. Alliteration, something like that. Something Englishy.
Englishy.
Yeah, as opposed to things that aren't.
Yep.
Yes. When there's a bit Spanishy in there as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's Spanish, you know what I'm saying? But no, I think it's very Fallout inspired. That's the thing. Like, that's why I think the Atomic Tutorials names Atomic, obviously a reference to Fallout, right? Like, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I kind of derived from it. I was like, oh, okay, like, of course, like I think one of the most popular videos on your channel is Atomic Tutorials. I believe it is. And it was, I think, how to build a Nuka-Cola machine. I might be incorrect here. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was something
that was one of my...
I'm not 100%. It was like one of your most popular tutorials on the Atomic Tutorial series. It was from a long time ago. Or I think it was one of the first videos you actually done.
I think it was. You might be right. It was very rudimentary, but I kind of adore it for its kind of minimalist charm.
Well, I mean, again, that's the thing. I was going to ask, so there was no inspiration for it. Well, there was, but it was kind of more of a spur of the moment.
Yeah. Oh, so you kind of like that.
Yeah. No, I get you. It's a lovely series, and recently, obviously, you've had a massive boost with what was it? It was the FNAF videos, right?
Yes. I don't want to say.
Is this the building Sun and Moon drop?
No. So until recently, you would have been correct. The Nuka-Cola machine was one of my best tutorials. But it was during Christmas. I felt because a security breach had just released, and of course everyone was very hyped because it's a new FNAF game, and people
was it that long ago already? Christmas?
Yeah.
Jesus, oh my god.
And...
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
I know it's weird, but obviously people were very hyped for it, less so now. But one of the main characters that people were hyped for was DJ Music Man.
A bit too hyped.
Yeah, a bit too hyped.
Honestly, that could be said to pretty much any character in that franchise at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like, I have a bit of a human hatred towards humanity, purely because I feel like everyone, especially in most fandoms, especially that one, are literally only born with a sex drive. That's all they think with, man. Oh, dude. The first few playthroughs I ever saw of that game was just, I would fuck that robot. Someone's going to clip that and take that out of context. Fun.
That's... Y'all are freaks, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn. I don't even know. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's, ever. Like, I've never played a game. I think I played it once on PC when it was, like, free. And I've never properly played it because for me, the concept of getting jump scared by the same shit every fucking game was just like, it wasn't that.
The scariest thing Joe's played is fighting.
But like, I know it is actually scary from what I've heard, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, security breach in itself isn't that scary because it's.
Gosh damn, man. But no, I mean, goddamn.
No, it's because it's very bubblegummed. Which it's kind of the fate of a lot of games.
It's like a kid glitter version. You know what I mean? It's like it's over glorified. It's plastic. It's like plasticated. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean. They've basically made it into a tacky thing where it's like, it's the fun idea of animatronics, not the idea of FNAF was to have the fun idea of animatronics with a horrible twist. But they kind of removed the horrible twist and they made the horror really cliche and boring. and I feel like overall the whole thing was a bit of a rushed project that never really finished. Well, they were forced to finish it on a budget, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like the idea of FNAF is because I watched the video. I can't remember what it was about, but it had this perfect point that security breach in itself normalized kid deletion, so to speak, because that's what Five Nights at Freddy's is about. It's about these
child murder.
haunted,
Yes, we
yeah,
do,
about this haunted
child murder.
Yeah, haunted animatronics. That's why they're moving. That's why they're haunted. That's why it's scary, because it has that mystery element. But you know, when you go further down the line, like after
the new game doesn't really radiate death of kids, to be honest. I'm quite disappointed because that's kind of the theme.
Yeah. But they sure do like the characters though, which is I think
they like
why. Yeah, I think that's why, because I did the Music Man. I did it as a spur of the moment thing, because Five Nights at Freddy's is very dear to my heart. Because I was one of the original people who played it in 2014 when it came out. I kind of quietly kind of followed along with the games.
I shamefully agree with this.
So I kind of made it again spur of the moment. I'm glad I did it, because I was like 10 o'clock and my brother came in and says, Wasabi, why are you making this? I was like, I just want to make it. So I released it. Incidentally, that was the first time I did a build with a short on the side. Using my phone.
Was this was the Music Man? I saw you did Sundrop and Moondrop, right?
Yeah, so I did DJ Music Man. That did really well. So I thought, hey, I'm not doing anything for the next week or so. I'm gonna just go do upload after upload, see how I do, because I want to ride this trend as fast as humanly possible. Because you know, it gives people something to do, and it gives me.
So I've got to say, the Sundrop and Moondrop one was actually pretty good. Like I saw that, I was like, that is really decent. And that's the one thing I took away from the new game that I really liked was his character. I loved the idea of that bipolar like murder robot. You know, that is a concoction. Perfect.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that's a very accurate depiction of it. It's the one thing I will credit Security Breach for is their character design, which is often the pros of a lot of these games that do flop, is that they have a great environment and setting and character design, but it's just with the story.
But the map layout, the story, anything that makes a game viable and fun and playable is kind of where it's lackluster. Yeah. Kind of abysmal.
Yeah. Yeah. But it did really well, so I'm glad I did it.
All right, I'm real quick. I'm going to cut in here because there's a little bit lag right now and delay between, for me at least, a teeny bit. So I'm going to real quick refresh. You guys continue with the next question, and I'll be right back.
Well, you want me to take your question?
Well, yours next one, I believe. So no, yours is number 4.
Oh yes, sorry.
Yeah,
bugger off. Shoo, go away. Okay. From what I've seen on the Dr. Wasabi channel, it's got quite the variety of content, from Minecraft tutorials to live streams on games like Destiny, amen, to Fallout ambience. So may I ask, how would you describe your channel to new viewers and newcomers?
I would say that my channel is, oh god, you make me sound like a door-to-door salesman now. It's like, sell your channel.
Your way of glorified, you're going to be like, oh, it's a glorified clusterfuck, right?
Yeah, in a sort
of
the nicest
kind of
way
possible.
Yeah, in a charming way, because obviously I want there to be a structured schedule, but the gist is, it's got a bit of everything for everyone. If you like tutorials, I do Fallout tutorials, I do FNAF tutorials. I'm thinking of doing like regular tutorials on the side if I've got enough time. I'm doing live streams. I am going to go back into Destiny 2, obviously. Which what
is
cream?
Your class?
I'm a warlock.
Thank you. See, my man. Like, okay, right.
Yeah.
Anyone that mains Titan deserves to rot.
Yeah. Filthy crayon eaters.
Speaking of deserving to rot, welcome back, Joe.
Thank you.
But,
hello. Got it. Do I sound better now? Sorry about that. There was like a little bit of delay or something.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear.
Don't mess with me like that. Don't mess with me like that. You were saying god dang. Sorry about that, guys. I do apologize. So where were you guys continuing on there from? I do apologize on the real quick.
We just finished asking the question, and we're just going on how he would describe his channel, and he's now going on about his future plans, which you would have known if you weren't so rude and had to leave.
I apologize, Alex. I apologize formally. I'm very sorry.
Honestly,
it's not my fault.
It's all cool. So as I was saying to Joe, I do it's a little bit of everything for everyone. I do tutorials if you want to. I do live streams for. It's mainly mini games. I don't like to do too much content on live streams because I want it to be chill. I just want to kind of
considerate fellow.
Yeah, like get to your Coke and just enjoy myself, and then just advertise it if people want to join. It's that kind of thing. I also do. So the way I've scheduled it is tutorials on one weekend. So I've just finished my other weekend, which it will be like a city episode and like a misc episode, which is kind of something that I find I want to do, whether it be like a cinematic, which you've seen. I gave you a special preview of that. Ambience, anything like that. There's kind of general miscellaneous videos on the side. And then on the next week, we'll go to tutorials. And then the week after that will be city episode. And it kind of rotates. So people have a good kind of wheel of content going their way. Along with
a very diverse variety channel type thing.
Yeah. I would say that's part of why I'm taking off, because it's kind of a triage.
That's interesting. A lot of people struggle with variety content. I know I certainly have, and I feel like a lot of people who have a niche or one, the thing that they're good at, find it hard to deviate.
Yeah, it's like they have that one kind of thing and they can only really stick to that. I like how you're really, and it's something that's actually quite cool and it's actually very intelligent as well. You're really using everything to the maximum. Like you're making content, proper content, videos, which is great. That's always important. And I mean, the videos that you're making is tutorial based, which is obviously the best of the best. But then you're also making shorts, which is giving you that initial push and boost into the algorithm because it's new people come to your channel. And then obviously if you're doing streams or whatnot, like it's even better because there you go right there. You're going to be pulling in even more people and hopefully getting them to stick around and stay, which I think is just a phenomenal way of doing it.
Yeah, shorts have been a big blessing for me because what I've found is that if you can place them in the right area, give them the right name, something poppy, because obviously they're not watching you for the title, like long form content videos. They're watching you. Oftentimes it's just sliding down the shorts page. Yeah. So as long as you get a poppy title, so I just do it for cinematics of the builds I've done, especially for FNAF tutorials. Those do really well. I've been doing like thousands of views for each short, which has brought more people to my channel, which in turn makes them watch long form content. And it's just kind of this nice wheel I've kind of devised. I should have done shorts earlier. And I was kind of like, that TikTok clone. What is that going to be?
I ask this every time we speak about overall, shorts. But do either you actually scroll through shorts? Because I don't.
I do. I often like the cat shorts. I just watch cats.
You are a problem.
They're cool, man. Like they're so cute. Like I just see them on. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna click on that.
Nah, that's just as bad as putting your whole brand behind the name.
I saw a cat with like a loaf. You know what I'm saying? I had to click on it. Come on, like it's just it had to be clicked on. Come on now. But like no, it's quite actually fascinating because what I've noticed in this, I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess it's just a community, but I've noticed anybody who's really making FNAF content. I mean, Rolieg, another guest been the show.
I don't know, man. There's a lot.
27. But like Rolieg, who made who's been the show. Rolieg was making a lot of FNAF shorts, and those have been doing like substantially well. And it's like, wow, I never knew. It's just a community that's strong with it. It seems like.
Yeah, no, FNAF is a cult following. So.
It's a cult. God dang. Oh my god.
No.
Joseph, do you want me to take the Forgotten 7 or are you going to do it?
I will take the Forgotten 7, thank you very much. New and improved. So, let's go. So, Alex, we have a recurring segment of the Forgotten podcast called the Forgotten 7, where we ask our guests 7 a little bit more personal questions to get to know them a little bit better and help paint a more clear picture of who they are as a person behind the content. So what I'll do is ask you 7 questions and you'll give us the most genuine answers you can. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Perfect. Also, this is the Forgotten 7 Part 2. We've actually modified the questions, and I've added a few more new ones, so it's a bit more fresh, so you're not hearing the same shit over and over your audience. Yes. Right. Number 1. What does your typical content creating outfit look like?
So, is that in relation when I'm making videos and stuff like that?
Correct.
Yeah. Not like when you laugh or something.
So...
I wear the same thing.
It's like, just clarify.
So usually I'll be in my pajamas because I'm not a kind of wear clothes inside kind of guy. I just put on some gym jams.
You're naked?
No.
So you're not a wear clothes kind of guy?
Come on, man. No, so this is my kind of outfit. So this is my hoodie. It was an outside hoodie, but it become a bit tattered. So I kind of just use it for general inside use. I've got some.
So it's more like you like to wear comfy stuff. You're not trying to wear like a suit, like an imbecile inside. You know, why do you want to wear a suit and jacket?
Yeah, so comfy stuff inside, and then loads of layers outside. So I just wear I bought myself a new hoodie. Just put on some t-shirt, a jumper, a hoodie, and then walk out the door to the bus for uni. And then
that's not too bad.
He's educated.
Got that nice and show.
Number 2. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? That's insane. Who told you that?
Holy shit!
Family advice. God damn.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really been given any like life changing advice. It's kind of been I kind of go into something and then figure the rest out, because it's been such a it's been a bit of a clusterfuck over the past 7 years.
You have absolutely nothing, as in from Intel.
No, it's more like that's, I guess, what you're saying right there, Alex, is like it's not like you've been given advice on anything. You kind of went in there and kind of mastered it yourself, or kind of like discovered things for yourself. You're not really being directly given the advice before.
He's a lone wolf.
It's kind of cool. The soul.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Okay, I'm gonna need the answer for the next one because it's something I'm still trying to find. But what gives you your motivation?
Well, I just say it's my imagination, really. I've always been a very arty guy. I've been playing Minecraft for a very long time. I actually switched from Call of Duty to Minecraft because I wanted to. Well, it is because I was getting really angry at it. And I was
I'm being genuine. Anyone that plays COD and enjoys it is either above the age of 40, has a failing marriage, or hates their life. It's one of the three.
Or
COD
psychopath.
nowadays is trash. Yeah. COD nowadays, I think, not to dwell off of it too much, but COD nowadays, I think, it's not much.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But no, it is my imagination, and of course that's going into my kind of further education, because I'm doing an art foundation, visual communications, and then hopefully I'll be
art student.
Yeah, typical art student, you know.
Don't worry, I'm dating an art student. I know it's painful.
You know.
Awesome. Well, this is another one of the new ones, one of the new favourites of mine. But I really like this question. What's your favourite gift you have ever received, and why?
Oh god! Oh, there's so many good ones. I feel I'm never like there's one favourite. It's usually a group of
Give us
of
a top
favourites.
3.
Yeah, top 3. I think it's an eligible one.
Top 3 would be, I would say, one's Benny from Fallout New Vegas, you know, zooming in, what in the goddamn. Another one is of Skinner from The Simpsons, saying, am I so out of touch? No, it's the children.
What do you mean by these? Are these like statues or something?
No, these are gifts.
Yeah, like what is the...
Just like, what are they like? Are
am I an idiot?
Or are they what are they that you've got? Like you said gifts, but like what are they?
A body pillow.
That's so Skinner from The Simpsons. It's like a scene from The Simpsons, stuff like that.
But like,
so,
what was it that you were given? Like how?
Yeah. What is the item?
What is the item that you?
That's why I'm so confused.
I'm trying to get like.
Did I do bad? Did I? Did I mess?
No. You're like I got given Skinner from The Simpsons. Just like, and he says a statement. I'm like, wait, did he actually get given Skinner, or like how?
No. Sorry, the favorite. Sorry, let me rephrase. The favorite gifts that I've been given. Wait, did you say gifts or gifts?
Gifts.
Okay, sorry. I'm stupid.
Did he say gifts?
Yeah, our favorite gifts.
Oh god.
What? As in like
actual
like
a gift,
object?
like an actual like. A gift. Oh man, come on, Joe.
How bland do you think we are?
Sorry.
What are your favorite JPEGs, sir?
Yeah. Sorry. So my favorite gifts would be one, my PS5. I'm very grateful. For my parents
Skinner
for giving it to me. The other one would be my signet ring.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I got a zone. Oh, it shines. It doesn't do that.
It does. Very flex.
Next one's like a flashlight. Go on, continue.
No. No.
That's number 4.
The other one would be the art of Fallout 4. which I got on one of my birthdays, and I suppose the other one will be Fallout 4 itself, because that kind of got me into the whole Fallout franchise. It was in 2014. I just got my PS4. I know, ages ago, ancient times. But Fallout 4 came with it. I played it. I fell in love with the series, and then I kind of went from there.
Have you ever backtracked like with any of the other Fallout? So is Fallout 4 your main favorite?
I suppose it's kind of I'm a victim of circumstance. So I suppose if I was there to play Fallout New Vegas, because it is a really good game. I'm friends with a lot of YouTubers, including TKS Mantis, and a lot of people from Fallout London, which is a up and coming mod. Check them out.
I've heard of it, yeah.
A lot of people think Fallout New Vegas is the best, although they do realize that a lot of people did start Fallout.
The whole series is incredibly mediocre.
How dare you? How dare you?
I gotta disagree with that. I mean, what about Fallout 1 or 2?
I obviously know you're gonna disagree. You've gone on about being a big Fallout fan.
I've not played any of the Fallouts except from a teeny bit of 76 and Fallout 4. And I mean, from my personal experience, as someone who came to the franchise entirely late, like Dr. Wasabi, it seems like here, totally like never played New Vegas on the 360, never played 3, never played Tier 1, obviously. I think honestly, Fallout's a pretty solid franchise. 76 might not be all that up there, but 4 is pretty decent. Like I can't lie, 4 is pretty good. The building mechanics and settlements and you know, what's the name? Garb, like the guy who like always says another settlement needs your help. The guy with the hat. I love all of it. Like
Skyrim is just infinitely better, unfortunately. Just saying.
Wars in the comment sections. You're just starting wars in the comment section.
Everyone in the comment section, Skyrim or Fallout 4, you can either be correct or an imbecile. So that's up to you. Wow. I lost count at where we are question wise. I'm just gonna go to the next one. At this point in time, how exactly would you describe the way you are feeling?
Pretty good. I mean,
I envy you.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of I don't want to say a rabble rouser, but we're just gone out of COVID. I am ready to get back into normal life.
Rousing.
Yeah, rabble rousing, rabble. But no, I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, my channel is doing great, and of course, Joe's talked about that, the dopamine hit. So I'm very off my tits with subscriber dopamine at the moment.
So. You're doing. I mean, how many subs have you gained this month? You're doing substantially well. I mean, we before you answer, we made like a small, because obviously with the script, we at the beginning, how many views you had, how many subs you had, and we had to adjust it before recording, obviously, because it was now you're at 800, back then you were at 7. You were at, I think, 50,000 views. Now you're at 79,000 views. It's like you jumped quite a substantial amount in a matter of honestly weeks. And it's
I can insane. Actually check. It may have gone up. Let me check on my computational device over here. Let's see what it is. Home
minus 400.
It is now at 820.
It's not too bad at all. You're doing very well for it.
It is.
When do you think you'll reach 1,000? When do you think you'll reach 1,000?
Before this, I thought it would take me a year to reach 1,000. Because I kind of been mining the algorithm, so to speak, for that kind of like golden nugget. But I think now, if I continue the growth that I'm doing and I keep it up with the same kind of uploads and shorts, because shorts are really propelling me up, I think give it a few months to a few weeks.
Oh, you were saying that's a bit ambitious, but I think you could do it, man. I mean, 180 subs? You're definitely. I mean, like it wouldn't be that surprising, honestly. I think you could definitely hit it in a few months or a few weeks, excuse me.
Well, if it's good to have friends in high places,
Of course. God damn. All right, I'll let Joe continue before he eats us.
I was getting close. What is one thing we would never guess about you?
That
I guessed that, I knew you were a snake.
That I am a lot of people wouldn't guess this, but it was kind of a surprise that I did actually come out as a homosexual.
I feel like the intro kind of fucked that question up, because I said it in the intro.
Wow.
I mean, so like when did you come out fully?
13. They weren't really surprised, which I was like, okay.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's kind of the best kind of result when they just don't give a shit, which is kind of the obvious, which is the ideal situation, because
yeah,
that's how it should be. You do you. So
that's a fair enough answer.
Epic.
That's a quite a unique answer. I don't think I've had anybody say something like that. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah, we usually get people saying they don't know, so at least you know.
Yeah.
For the last question of the Forgotten Seven, what would you personally say is your biggest strength? Not to get all, job applicationally on you, but I'm not going to ask you where you see yourself in 5 years.
I would say my biggest strength is the amount of life experience I have had. It's given me incredible thick skin. It's kind of given me the mental age of someone who's 40, which kind of clashes with my immaturity as a late teenager, which kind of makes for an interesting mix. But no, it does.
Be me. I'm an adult. Hell yeah.
No, it makes me very grounded and more pragmatic with what I do, because a lot of people my age, they kind of don't know what to do in life. They're very aimless. They're always on their phones. I'm just like, no, I've got a thing I want to do, and I'm gonna do it. I don't really want to do anything else than that.
You have a clear vision of what you want. You have a clear kind of goal, like, this is what I want. This is how I'm gonna get. Yeah. I think that's something that's quite like, some people be like, oh, that's not a big thing. It really is. There's so many individuals, and I'm sure you know people, obviously, Alex, and I know Joseph knows people. We all do. Probably people.
I do know
right
people.
Now. Maybe some of the people watching right now, maybe even in this boat. There's so many individuals that just don't know what they want to pursue.
Oh my god, these people stress me out, man. But it's like, why are you here?
But they come out of school, they go to school, they get asked, what do you want to be when you're older? And it's no clue. And then they go through school, college, university, whatever. And they do all this stuff. And then they come out and they've got no clue. They're not pursuing something that they're passionate about. They're not pursuing what they feel like is their life's work. And I think that's something that's, it's horrible. I can't imagine being, I wouldn't want to be there, for starters. But it's like, it's a horrible thing. And I think it's a huge blessing to have a clear vision of what you want. No, maybe not the most clear one, because I'm sure for you, it's like, same with you, Alex. So you might know what you want now, but things can change, a year or two, whatever.
Yeah.
That vision might somewhat, it might change a little, might change direction a little bit, whatever. But you have a rough idea, and that's good, because at least you know what to pursue to get to that point. And it's the same with Joseph and myself. We know what we all want, and that's what I love about doing TAP. We're sitting with individuals who are like that. They know what they want. Even though we're younger, even though we aren't, exactly like, people that have lived the fullest of lives, that we know everything or whatnot, we've experienced everything, we understand what we want, and we're willing to pursue it to get it at any cost, which I think is a very interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, I always make it a kind of rule of mine not to plan too far ahead, because you always get, like you said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, I want to ride a horsey or something stupid like that. But no, I don't like to plan too far ahead, because obviously you could have something like COVID happen, or something serious. And it's just good. Like, I don't want to say go with the flow, because
something that can be dangerous.
You're really trying not to ironically say YOLO.
Wait, what? No, but it's like, sometimes I think it's important. I think I definitely go with Alex is saying here. It's like, you don't want to just be like, just go with the flow. You don't want to just, aimlessly wander. Like, that's how you get nowhere. You can't get to.
You want to make the most of what you've got.
But it's you do. But you also want to have like at least a rough idea of what you want. Don't plan too far ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to plan ahead and be like, I want this, I want that. But don't be like trying to lay down everything, because like you said, anything can come in your way. I think was it Murphy's Law? That's what's called, at least in the US. I don't know about in the UK specifically, but it's like when something bad can happen, it will happen. And it's always the case, You plan ahead and it's like, oh, I'm going to do great this year, I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden you have my boss. It's like, oh shit, okay, well then, like, something else, anything can happen, medical or like physical, or anything can come up, family, whatever, like anything can change or happen in your circumstances, and then suddenly it's the whole plan's been turned upside down. So it's important to not worry that much and that far ahead, but think ahead, but not too far to the point where you're putting yourself up for potential issues. You know what I'm saying? In that kind of mind.
Yeah, I think it's good not to worry, because it's just a lot of people, especially now, and it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna be safe? It's like as long as you're logical, you take care of yourself, you're most likely gonna be fine.
Yeah, I get that. That's a respectable comment to make, I think, to the common listener. My next question, I'm actually very intrigued at. We're back off the Forgotten Seven now. I'm back onto the questions. And this one, I really just, I thought it'd be a really interesting one. I think I'm going to get an interesting answer. Maybe not. I know, don't feel like there's any pressure, right? But don't worry, it's nothing incriminating. Don't worry, all right? So
Incriminating?
I got you covered, Alex. Don't worry, right? But no. So since you are an OG member of the Minecraft PlayStation 4 building community, at least in my own opinion, of course, and I probably would agree in yours as well, I wondered what the name the King Crown MC brought up memory-wise for you. If there's like anything that just like spins up, or if you remember that name, or if anything sort of comes into your, like anything just starts to pop in and go, hold on a second, I know that guy, or I know that name, I don't know, I just thought I'd ask if you remember it, or you know that at all. Ever heard of that individual?
That is a name I've not heard in a long, long time.
Oh shit! God damn. I was gonna say, do you remember who he is?
Yeah, he was oh god, he was part of that. He was part of that clique that because there's one thing that I hate about particular Minecraft players, and that's when they're very pretentious because you're playing a game. Stop, you're not Da Vinci, okay, settle down.
Yeah.
And I can't remember enough to make any accusations against the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy in person, but it was like kind of him and a few other people. I think Cosmic Reality was one. I'm cool with Cosmic now.
Yeah. But at one point.
There was this kind of like there was like drama with builders, like, oh, you stole my build, like.
It's funny enough. I thought mention would be interesting because a lot of people don't know who he is, and like in every Minecraft community, whether it be the showcasing news community, especially news, or world showcasing and world stuff and world building, there's always individuals who are toxic. And I know this name because I toured his world at one point, and I didn't actually realize his relationship and how you knew him. And when I heard about it, I was like, holy shit, he like. This guy, he's such an egotistical ass, like this guy King Crown, not to be rude and whatnot, but it's the truth. I think anybody who knows him or who knew of him knows what he's about. I mean,
we should send this podcast to him.
We definitely should. He's still on Twitter. I searched him up. But it's funny enough, I don't know if you remember this, right, Wasabi. I believe you do, because I remember seeing you talk about this actually on old live stream. I don't know if it'll pop up on memory. There was actually a PlayStation 4 community called Players Against the King Crown MC, and it was created by Cosmic Reality. Back in the day, this was like an OG. This was how hated this guy was. People just didn't like him. He was such a degenerate at points, and he believed that he was. I believe in his own words, he was the best Minecraft builder there's ever been, or that there is on PlayStation. With that sort of level of like ego, he's the best there is. Even though his builds were all actually stolen, from what I understand, not all of them, but the majority.
No, it's stupid. Because it's just. At the end of, when you boil it down, it is just a game where people can express their own imaginations. A lot of people are quite slow at building, and that's okay, because a lot of people have, our brains are all different. We see creativity in a different way, and obviously we do. Oh, he made a box. Yes. But jokes aside, they're doing what they like. They enjoy themselves, and as long as they're doing that, I'm happy. I don't like this kind of this very restrictive kind of view on Minecraft building. I was like, oh, it has to be 10x detail, otherwise you're not a real builder. And it's kind of this kind of egotism, because it isn't good on yourself. I don't know about
you, but all my builds are 10x. Just saying.
No.
But I actually recall, the reason why I'm mentioning them, right, is because it was a specific occasion I saw on your channel while doing research. And it was, he came into your stream. I don't know if you recall this, again, a long time ago. He came into a stream of yours, GTA stream, and he came in on an alt, I believe it was, and I think you believed it was at the time. He came in on an alt to your GTA stream, and he was sitting telling you why he's the best builder. Like, he's sitting on an alt, tooting his own ego, and you were just sitting there like, you're not though. You're really not. You're not though. And you're sitting going at him, and it was hilarious to watch over, because the chats are still there. Like, they've been deleted, but you had the chats coming on the screen so you could see them.
Yeah.
And this guy is like, not to be rude to the King Crown to an extent, I'll give him credit where he's due. Phenomenal. He does have some amazing builds. I toured his world and had very, very beautiful builds. And he obviously still does it, and very skilled, and well done to him. But I swear to God, this guy's ego, it was horrendous. Like, genuinely to proclaim that you're the best builder, and then ridicule others who just are enjoying themselves. I was like, what a degenerate. I believe in your stream he was sitting proclaiming like how you will never be as good as him. And you're like, I don't frankly care. And you'll never be as good as it, but I don't frankly care. And it just kept getting to him. I actually have a comment here, in fact, to bring up. Funny enough, I'd love to show you all and the viewers at home. This really just reiterates who this man is. Funny enough, and it's a beautiful comment. Now, this was actually on his YouTube channel. It just came to memory. This was on his YouTube channel, of course, and it's phenomenal. It really truly is. It was on his last video that he uploaded. All right, his channel's called Lord Crown. Not to give him too much credit or whatnot. He's got 1.11k subscribers, and his last video was from a year ago. Now, I'm going to read out this comment, and please do try to stay with me. Sorry if there's any lag and whatnot. Let me know if there is while I read out, because it's truly, absolutely, I don't know. It's just horrendous. You know what I'm saying? Like how mean this was. Let me just find this right here right now, because it is a little bit, here. There it is here, right? So this person, I could probably even show you guys it right on the screen, but I'll just read it out. This person here called Chenania, it's a very odd name. They commented on this video a year ago, and they said, to be specific right now, excuse me. Hey Lord, I can't seem to message you on Discord because we don't share a server on there. I'm trying to contact you to help build a map I'm working on. I have a command block people, and now I'm looking for builders. So far we are doing the spawn. It is huge and detailed. My name is Fatman the Creator on PlayStation 4. I'm sure you could join the world through crossplay. Edit also I would be making other maps to go or to, and I will be it will go to the Minecraft marketplace. All I have to do is get a contract or wait 8 months to have my own marketplace company, and we can get paid. Obviously, I've already added your name to the building team group on chat on PlayStation 4 already. He proceeded to respond. This is now Lord Cram. I don't think you have what it takes. I don't even know if you have improved building yet. The guy who commented initially responded back saying, of course you would say that. I'm the one directing what you have to build in the world along with the others, the other builders. King Crown responded back by saying, but Fatman, you do not know the world outside of console. What it takes to make a really nice build, if you even know what that looks like or what that looks like, and then to own and manage a team. Not to discourage you, but you're obviously 100% going nowhere. From there, the guy responded back by saying, how would you know what I have, or how would you know what I know about the business I'm going to do? I'm not going in there blindly, and I know what a high quality build looks like. Thank you. I'm just asking if you want to be a part of my building team or in my building team. I could make my own business or get a contract. Either way, we are getting paid and ... Lord Crown here responds back, you're too hyped. The whole year will go by and you will have nothing to show me. I'm not saying you're flawed, but it's just the statistics. There's a 99.9% chance of failure for you and your PlayStation friends. And then,
dude, he sounds like me.
It was like reading the comments. This guy has nothing less than just a complete ego. Like, this is just one comment here, and there's a few others, but they're not really as bad. But it is phenomenal. It really is actually hilarious, the guy's level of ego within himself. I sorry for kind of derailing to read that there. I just really want to kind of reiterate this guy's ego right here. And that was a comment. When I was writing the script, I saw that comment and I was immediately like, this guy needs some help. You know what I'm saying? God damn. It needs a proper reality check to touch some.
Yeah. It is interesting, I think. How he does mention console as some kind of implication of inferiority, because I have noticed I was on the World Corral server for a brief stint. I think this was in 2019, maybe 2018, and there is a culture, a very small culture. I don't want to say like all these PC players are the
PC
complete
master race.
Yeah, they're not like the build Nazis or anything like that. But some of them. They do have an some do have an ego, and it's a big problem because it discourages a lot of people from going on their servers.
Me and Joe actually spoke about this a little while ago. We're just saying that in most competitive or higher up hierarchies in communities, there's always those people, and it's ridiculous.
There's a lot of I don't want to say scum, but it's the truth. There kind of is. I mean, even in the Minecraft news, but it's the truth. Even in the Minecraft news community, I actually told a buddy of mine, Sam B, who's currently, when I shout out to him, he's doing Minecraft news. I told him about it, and I feel people. I being in there, I saw a lot of people come and go, and I recall a few different occasions where it was pure scum. Like, it was pure vile hatred. I remember one guy got exposed for being he was a child predator, and he deserved to be exposed, of course, but The real reason the guy got exposed was because the guy who was his competitor, I'm not going to say names, but his competitor was the one who directly went and exposed them. He didn't have to do this. He covered Minecraft news as well, but he knew that he was, holding this place. So he tore him down piece by piece, attacked his sister, attacked his family members, everyone, to try and get him to leave the internet entirely, and eventually did. He caved in and deleted every social media.
He was on the grind.
This guy proper went viciously against everybody to try and get himself the #1 spot, and he now has it. And it's like, there you go. That's what I'm saying. These people they exist, and they're completely vile. They are there.
I have a new role model now.
God damn it. But no, I thought it was an interesting question. Mentioning King Crown, a bit of a blast from the
past. If you want to go on the topic of nostalgia and people that are prevalent in your community, what happened to your ex-moderator, Declan Fife, I believe it's pronounced?
Declan Fife. Declan and I are still very much friends. He is still as a moderator on my channel. It kind of goes in between not being a moderator and being a moderator. He's a bit of an edgelord, like a lot of my old friends, but he is a good friend. Like a lot, because it usually happens because he has a job. A lot of my friends have jobs. We don't really speak as much as we did, but what we do is it's just a nice vibe. But obviously,
class SMH.
Yeah, he is Scottish, so he has quite a mouth.
Not another one.
The reason why we wanted to mention him was because I noticed, he was, I think he was like one of really the main people in your community, subjective, I'd say. From what I could see research-wise, he was always in the streams. Love him or hate him, he was always there for a long time.
Yeah.
He was a moderator and everything like that. But then all of a sudden, it was like his messages got removed. It was like he got deleted or he got banned from your channel or something. I don't know, maybe start a new channel. But it's just all. I don't know what happened. I noticed that and I went, oh dear, because it was the attitude I got from him was quite a. Well, no disrespect, I know you're still friends with him. It just seemed like he was quite a bit of an ass because of like the way in which he spoke in every single stream to you and the attitude. Like, oh dear, like this guy's he's kind of being a bit too edgy. Like he's kind of really being kind of hurtful to an extent, from what I could see, at least from my perspective. But from
an observatory stance, I can see where you would say that, but to me, it isn't really anything. It's just who he is. He's a bit of a shit poster. It happens.
I feel like this is quite a familiar territory, though. I feel like a lot of people think that about myself. And I think I would disagree.
Yeah,
with
I think everybody has friends, who go into the
say not everybody. Joe doesn't have friends.
No. Oh, I don't believe that. But everybody has someone who says outrageous things for the sake of being outrageous, and I can see. So sometimes he would post some naughty things in the chat, and I would have to go, you can't say that, and then he would be out. But he is obviously people temper over time, and compared to the past few years, like a lot of people, I've noticed this. A lot of people get a lot less edgy as they age, which I suppose is something in their brains, but. I am still good friends with him. He's been promoted as a head mod on a server for Skyblock, and I congratulated him recently. Oh, wow. But he's doing well, and I wish him all the best.
I'm glad to hear. Well, it's just I said from our perspective when I was looking into it, I was like, oh, this guy just disappeared all of a sudden, and I thought maybe it was like you've had a breaking point. You went, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this guy every single day coming in the streams and being rude. It was like, oh darn it. Well, fair enough, man. That's a fair enough answer. I hope he does well.
No, it's more a fact because my channel was quite a casual channel, but when you start to become more professional, you have higher standards.
You have to get rid of some of the weaker parts. I totally get that. There's a level of professionalism you have to start to adopt. If you want to be taken serious and you want to work with other good people and whatnot.
Exactly, and look, it's all good banter, but again, when you're growing a channel, it becomes more of a liability, and they understand that. So they're not really part of the channel anymore. But I still speak of them in a good capacity, and I do understand that.
That's good. Well, not to go on to a bit of a more serious subject. Obviously, this is of course a much more serious one. Maybe you can already even tell.
We're going to start speaking about star signs.
We are. You're saying, what's yours? You're saying, but like, no. I wanted to mention something that I felt like it was kind of, it would have been not right to not mention it because of obviously the circumstances and how, genuine you've been with me and others and whatnot in the community. You mentioned a couple of times publicly and also privately that you had the unfortunate experience of dealing with cancer firsthand. and with it actually, I believe, impairing your ability to walk. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, here. I was wondering if you could share what that entire, I guess you could call it, era of your life, of course, was like for your family and most importantly, you.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I won't reveal too much, because it kind of goes into my family, and obviously they have their own stories to tell. But I'll give you the quick summary. In that, I can't remember when it was in 2017. I got an ache in my leg. It turns out that ache wasn't muscular; it was a tumor in my femur. And what happened is that it whittled it down so much that I tripped upstairs and broke my leg.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing in your I remember seeing while I was going back through again your live streams, I saw in one of them it was something like you broke your femur, you said, or something like that. I think you were that's what you were saying in the streams, and it was like, oh, okay. And it was we didn't like, it was kind of a bit odd, but then obviously I remember like the Declan guy and a few others were making some like somewhat odd comments that were kind of like they knew obviously more what was happening. I don't know if that was the case.
Yeah.
Like,
so at first we didn't know what was happening because obviously you don't break your femur. It's like the strongest bone in your body. So I went to Leicester General, I think. We got an X-ray. They kept talking about stuff like voids and things like that. So we started getting suspicious, and they said, "No, you've got bone cancer," because we got moved to Birmingham. Great hospital, specialist care. So it was quite a funny story. I actually got misdiagnosed by a doctor. It said I was a broken leg. It says I've got other patients to treat, and I was like, got pushed out for screaming, broken leg. But that's neither here nor there.
He misdiagnosed you, saying you had a broken leg.
Yeah, so he tried to bend it. Obviously, I was in immense pain. I was like, dude, I can't. Yeah. And he said, he's gone now, because obviously we kind of looked up on it, and he said, hey, this happened.
Yeah, this guy's terrible.
Yeah, he's a bit of a doofus, but it eventually got sorted. I went for around 2 years of chemotherapy, and that was kind of when I was doing a lot more streams because I was too sick, too poorly to upload, and things like that. It finally got fixed around 2 years later. So I had surgery, replaced my femur with a steel prosthesis, so I could bend it and walk again. The only trouble was that it got infected. A few months later, so the next 3 years were kind of me being with my leg forced straight, just so they could figure out what to do. So they kind of put a spacer in to clean out all the shit in my leg, and then as of I think it was October last year, I had surgery, which obviously makes me walk now. So I've still got a stick, and it's a bit of a goofy animatronic walk, but I'm getting there. So I've still got my hair.
Naff, bro.
That's what's that. But I mean, so what didn't you say? I think you said to me, do you not still take physiotherapy? Is that what it would be like to actually?
Yeah.
To make sure.
I still so I get referred to my local physiotherapist who it's every few weeks. What exercises are you doing?
Yeah, just keep on top of it.
Yeah, just to build up muscle, because I've got the articulation, the system muscle, and he's being built up. Because it's quite funny. Sometimes my leg would give way because it was so weak.
Is it atrophy? Is that what's called when your muscle gets obviously weaker because you've not been using it?
Because it's not doing anything. So it's just sat there.
For the 3 years, it was obviously not really used. It wasn't getting used. So I'm guessing it was a lot weaker than. Was it just the one leg? Yeah. Yeah,
it's just the one leg. The other one's fine. You can notice it because they had to shave off the kneecap to put in a prosthesis. So you can see on one leg it's just like a solid kind of right angle, but with my other one it's like that.
Shit, wait, when you say shave off the knee, man, there's like a million questions. But what? You got to explain. I'm so like, that's mad. I can't imagine.
Because you need to replace the bone, and obviously they need to dig in really deep, and because they need to dig in really deep, they need to shave off some of the kneecap because they need to get it in there.
Oh, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. That'd be mad.
Thing is, right, man, if I had that problem, I would just crawl into the forest and wait to be taken. Like, genuinely, I could not put up with that.
I mean, how was your mental? Like, how are you doing mentally during this whole time? I couldn't imagine it would be.
Clearly, he was buzzing.
Yeah. Well, it was half being medicated out my tits, but
I just said he would have been buzzing.
it was a tough time, but I wouldn't really be the guy I was today if I hadn't did it, because I was quite an entitled little brat before I did it. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise, basically, because it kind of taught me all the life experiences that I've got now.
Well, I mean, and like you said, I think it's gave you that kind of that I'd say unique privilege to an extent. Dare I say privilege? I don't want to seem like that's a rude way of putting it, but it's giving you that kind of unique perspective. Excuse me, that'd be the right way of putting it. Perspective of like on how careful things can be, like how, like, you know, like how mad things can be in life. You know what I mean? Like with that, obviously going through that entire experience, I can't imagine doing that myself. But having that experience, at least you know, it's kind of, I'm guessing, helped you kind of set everything right priority wise. You know what I mean? Like you know what you want to do, you know what you want to pursue. You've had to go through that, obviously, of course. And is everything fine now, or is it just
everything's pretty much fine. I mean, my leg looks a bit battered, but apart from that, you know, it's a small price to pay. I've still got my hair, which is good. My dad's bald, so we'll see what happens.
God damn, man. God damn, dude. Oh, man. No, man. God damn, bro. God damn it. I mean, it's quite a surreal thing to have to go for, I can imagine, man. But I mean, I gotta give props where it is, man. I love your, I would say, sense of humor with it. It's not even sense of humor, it's just your personality with it. You don't let it put you down. You're like, ah, fuck it. You know, like, it's just what it is. But it's like you have a unique way of looking at it. And I think that's quite respectable and actually quite admirable as well. I think 100%.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize, at least it's my philosophy of it, is that although pain is bad, and you know, kind of, it's that kind of suffering that gives your life meaning, because you don't really know how good you've got it in a sense. So
that's how I live my life anyway. I always, that's why I know it sounds really fucked, but I'm grateful for bad experiences. Like it makes me realize things, you know, more. Like I feel like where I was, you know, brought up with two different sides of the family, treated me really nicely because of obviously them being split up. I didn't get that discipline that I needed. And I think it's the same sort of scenario where if you don't have the negative parts of things, you are kind of molded into that false sense of everything is perfect. So you don't try hard enough.
Everything's easy. Yeah, you need that kind of like that. I'd say discipline, but it's not even discipline. It's more like you need that kind of perspective on life. It's like that difference of like, no, like this isn't how it goes here. They ain't that easy. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't work like that. It's definitely, that's more what it is.
I'll be honest, I've been spending sorry to cut you off, Joe, but I've been spending the past 10 minutes trying to figure out how I'm going to transition from this to the next question.
That was my fault.
Let's do a hard segue.
A hard segue.
Well, I mean, it goes from cancer to Minecraft. Right.
Well, so, they're interchangeable sometimes, so.
That's what you're saying. Some of the player base you've said.
Speaking of cancer, being a Minecraft map creator,
God damn it, we've just got cancer.
Being a Minecraft map creator, how has you
English? Do you speak it? You must say, God damn
Not
it.
always, man. I'm actually bilingual. I speak sign language. While being a Minecraft map creator, how has creating unique worlds changed for you since that you've moved from Minecraft Bedrock Edition? Can you imagine having to access tools such as the structure block has? I fucking hate that. I've restructured this, but it hasn't saved. You read it. I'm bored. I don't want to do it again.
Sorry. What it is, Dr.
Genuinely, I restructured this, and it's not saved.
Let me try here. Right, let me try it. So the question was, being a Minecraft map creator, sorry, let me try.
Yeah.
That was.
You've written it in Scottish.
Dr. Wasabi jinxed me, cursed me there. Right. Being a Minecraft map creator, how has creating unique worlds changed for you since you moved to Minecraft Bedrock Edition? ? I can imagine having access to tools such as the structure block has made creating maps easier and faster.
Yeah, we got there. We got it in the end.
We got it in the end. It was just as fun.
If you want to, just don't answer it. Honestly, don't need to at this point.
I would say that initially, because obviously we're all from Legacy, we know the kind of the ins and outs of the kind of dynamic for building.
Oh yeah.
At first, there was a kind of stickishness that you don't need structure blocks; you can place them by hand.
Manual.
Yeah, manual. Which is, to be fair, some of my friends, my friend made a wonderful event center in 1.0 all by hand. It's a brilliant craft. But when you kind of have access to these tools, you kind of think, what's the point of doing it manual? Because with structure blocks, you can literally do it for terraforming. You can make world engines, which have been really useful in terraforming maps.
I have no idea what's being said right now.
Well, a world engine. So this is I forget what he's called, but he's called Tom H Magic, and he was a guy who I learnt. I actually got him in my world to make a mountain maker, which is a set of command blocks where you could have a
also like a terraforming preset.
Yeah, a terraforming preset. Yeah, so you can just drop a green block which starts it, and then you can kind of go around, make your mountain, and throw a red block and it stops it. Stuff like that. But of course, things like structure blocks, you can save entire buildings and then pop them over somewhere else, which is great for planning. Because Joe could see my Pip's Pizzeria build. I had to move that across the road because it was saving. It was using up too much space to make logical sense. So I moved it to the side of the road. So I was able to place down a structure block, put in the coordinates because it shows the building that you're saving inside the dimension.
3D,
menu.
It shows you a full 3D version of it, which is actually pretty damn impressive, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can just copy it over there. So I feel like, although reserved at first, it's been a great tool for especially creative builders because it just makes things 10 times easier with very kind of I don't want to say boring things, but it takes a lot of time to do terraforming, and in Legacy it took so long.
I think there's certain aspects. I think we've kind of discussed this. Obviously, we done it in obviously the video that you and I obviously both recorded, which obviously is coming in the future and whatnot. But it was the aspect. I think one of the biggest ones is infrastructure, which is like streetlights, roads, sewers, perhaps. Those kind of like little things. Those alone used to be one of the most tedious things. In my world tours, I recall even like trees. I remember people used to make beautiful custom trees because sometimes trees are a little bit dull. So they want to make custom ones, and they'd be lovely, and they'd make them, and you'd have to rinse and repeat that dozens of times. But like now, what's so cool about structure blocks is like, say, for you, if you're building the town, you can have a bunch of different structure blocks that are for different cars. You could have things like car 1, 2, 3, and it just saves dozens of different vehicles that you made, or buildings, or whatever, and you can just build a whole city really in no time. You have to build the same build once, and then that's it. You can copy paste, and it saves you so much time. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, there's a whole variety of tools because how I do it is I have my little inventory kind of list of everything I need. So I'll have the structure block, light blocks, a bed, because I like to have my world set to daytime, so it kind of goes from day to night, so it feels more alive, so to speak. And then you have stuff like barrier blocks, void blocks, other things like that, which really help builders in general just make a more fleshed out and detailed map.
I definitely agree. I think you're 100% correct, without shadow of a doubt. I think honestly it's one of those things where they allow you to do basically what 4J could do. I mean, if you look back, I mean, something I personally wanted to do, and I might do it one day, and it'd be an amazing tutorial. Maybe you could help me one time, you never know. And it'd be the idea of rebuilding the battle maps from Fallout 4. The battle maps from Fallout 4
attempting doing something like that before?
I done the battle lobby. That was what it was. But I never bought the battle maps. It was a minigame lobby. But the battle maps themselves, like the Fallout ones and whatnot, it's phenomenal because if you look at those, if you have the downloads from them, which I've had and whatnot, thanks to friends of mine like Teddy and whatnot, you can actually see that they used like certain things like barrier blocks, which obviously now we have access to fully for developing worlds and whatnot, or maps on Bedrock Edition, but they use that back on Legacy. And it's one of those things: command blocks, barrier blocks, structure blocks, etc. They're such useful little assets that allow you to be able to create such amazing things and do such awesome additional things that you normally couldn't do. So I definitely think they're a phenomenal addition to the game.
Yeah. To be fair, I have. I remember I did do that little present for you, that statue of your idol, Modest.
Modest 517. Modest 517.
Yeah, 517. Yeah.
It's
always waiting in the wings.
That's it, exactly. It's a beautiful statue. I might build them out of copper. Oh. You never know. I honestly consider it.
Yeah.
Be an amazing thing to build out of copper. I can agree.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one more thing right now to ask you, Dr. Wasabi. For our final question with you, Alex, we wanted to ask, really, what are your plans for the future of the Dr. Wasabi channel, especially now with the recent growth and everything you're doing with the channel and whatnot, the Atomic Tutorial series and whatnot, doing so well, everything, are you going to get back into doing a lot more live streaming? Are you going to try and focus more on certain aspects of the channel, certain things that you really want to nail down? What are the plans for the future for the channel?
So my plans for the future would be to, one, maintain a consistent upload schedule, as best I can. Obviously, I can't pertain. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but as long as I can make it, maintain a consistent schedule. Focus a lot more on side projects as well, because I'm doing my ARG, Pip's Pizzeria, which you know, but I won't go too in detail because it's kind of you solve it yourself. Things like that. I will do a lot more streams. It's kind of juggling between university and time for recording because I'm very skint for time. So I'll do uni work, and then as soon as I have free time, I'll record a tutorial or a city episode, depending. So I guess it'll just be upload consistently and just make what I like.
That's fair enough, man. Fair enough. And I mean, what are your goals for this year with the channel, if you don't mind me asking? Do you have like a specific goal in mind, like what you want to do? I mean, I know 1K, I feel like it's a given. But, I mean,
definitely 1K. Obviously, I'm gonna get
You'll get that more. Easy. I say reach 2K.
Reaching 2K.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I think
at the rate you're growing,
time coming. Yeah, at the rate you're growing right now, man, I think honestly you could reach 1K and then go right towards 2K. I mean, monetization, I feel like it's maybe even a more plausible one for you. I feel like definitely. I think 1K and then monetization, and then being able to earn some sort of maybe extra income from the channel. I think that's definitely plausible, 100%. And you know, you're going to be getting the watch time, you know, from the streams, from the videos, you know, maybe a little bit from shorts, not as much though, but you know, still, I think especially tutorials, you'll be getting good watch time. So I think you should definitely 1K monetization. That should be a goal for this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many views. Is it like 150,000 for monetization?
It's not the amount of views.
It's watch hours.
It's watch hours.
4,000 watch hours.
4,000 watch hours
within the past 12 months.
Yeah, so I don't know how much, for example, you have in your channel right now, but you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Now, the watch hour part is a little bit difficult, but if you're streaming, say an hour-long stream, 4 people are watching, 4 hours of watch time. It's not a substantial amount, but if you do, you know, multiple hours, you have multiple people watching, it can grow substantially. You know, it's just about balling that up.
I don't want to speak about monetization.
Joseph has a sore spot with it.
I do. A story that's been told too many times.
Well, I'm very glad that I have such a vibrant and diverse ring of high connected friends that I'm sure would be able to lend a hand.
100%. I'll lend any hand I can. I'm sure Joseph will as well, of course, man.
I'll send over a few goblins from my little fan base, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
You hear that swarm?
That's what it is. Well, listen, man, Dr. Wasabi, Alex, bro, it was a pleasure having you on the show, man. Honestly, I hope you really enjoyed being here, man. It was absolutely, honestly, amazing thing having you here, man. Been very chill guest, and it's been a really chill atmosphere with us all being here, which I'm very excited for and I'm very happy for. I hope the audience appreciates as well. This was episode 32, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, of the Forgotten Podcast, or episode 33, excuse me, I messed up there, my apologies, of the Forgotten Podcast, of course, featuring the man himself, Dr. Wasabi. Please go check out his channel if you haven't already, guys. He's on the road right now to 1,000 subscribers and 100,000 views, which is substantial. Help him get there, guys. Please do go check out his channel. It will be linked down below, or you can actually click the ad if you're watching on YouTube. But again, if you listen on Spotify or any other place, you can also just click down below in the description and go check out his channel. Make some phenomenal content on there, guys. So please go check him out, and much love to him. And of course, guys, thank you for watching this episode of the Forgotten Podcast. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, guys. We will see you on the next episode. Once again, check out all of us, myself, Mr. Keepman Joe, Mr. Mass Cynic over there, and of course, Dr. Wasabi down here. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Everybody.